Hey guys, what's going on, bros? For real? What's
What's
up,
up,
Pastor
bro?
Willie?
What's up, bro?
Hey man, we got this opportunity right now, man, to do this other interview. Man, we have a dynamic interview because we have a dynamic individual on
Boy,
today.
some of you guys already know Larry Kennedy. Oh man, he is the man, but he
Yeah.
loves God.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get a chance to see some things today, hear some things that's gonna bless your socks off. Stand by.
Man, it's a nice office. Hey, we'll see y'all in a second. Peace.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Pastor Trey, man, we're gonna do this today.
Come on.
Larry, man, what's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
How you feeling, man? Good hometown up in this
Hey
piece,
man,
man.
I'm good.
Man,
Hey.
it's good to meet you, Larry.
Hey, man, great,
Thank you
man.
for this opportunity, brother.
Hey, I'm excited.
Hey, it's gonna be awesome today. As I told you guys, man, me and Pastor Trey, we've always talked about ordinary people doing supernatural things.
That's right.
Man, Larry is doing
He doing it
some
big.
supernatural things. And today we're gonna give him a chance to tell his story, man. Pastor
Yeah.
Trey, you wanna get us started on
Yeah,
today?
man,
bro?
I'll get it started because this is my first time having an opportunity to meet Larry. But man, I read his information, man, because he's on Google. So I'll say this, man. I looked at a post on Google, Larry, and it said that it listed you as one of the greatest Florida Gators never to enter the NFL. And so I saw that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, who is this dude, right? So I asked that question for you. How does that make you feel, or how has that affected you, knowing that you were listed as one of the greatest NFL, or one of the greatest Florida Gators never to enter the NFL? Did that kind of like make you feel a certain way?
Well, I'll jump in on that. For a while there, it bothered me. I'm not gonna sit here and say it didn't.
Right.
I'm human.
Right.
So when you really look back and you start digging in my background, you start to realize I've been a great player for a long time.
Okay. Come on.
I played at the highest level. When you start talking about at the collegiate level,
Right.
I mean, there's no bigger than the University of Florida, Power 5.
Right.
And coming out of high school, I was the #1 defensive back in America. USA Today All-American, Parade All-American. I was in every All-Star game you can imagine.
Right.
I've played at Riverview High School, Sarasota Riverview, and we went to the state championship my junior year. 22 players signed scholarships, 13 Division I. We went to the state championship. We flew to the state championship. So I was always part of something big. And when you start talking about my collegiate career, and you start talking about all SEC, All-American, started more games than anybody in the history of the University of Florida, team captain, University of Florida, voted by my peers, and I got hurt. I had the $1 million Lords in London contract. I had everything lined up to where if something happened, I would be okay.
Yeah.
But of course, it didn't play out that way because it wasn't considered a career-ending injury for them. But for me, it was definitely career, and I couldn't run anymore.
Right.
And if you can't run, certain positions you can't play.
Right.
And it's no longer like it is today, where once you're injured, you're pretty much damaged goods.
Right.
So it hurt me a little bit to watch guys that I thought I was better than. I was rated as one of the top corners coming into the 95 draft.
Right.
I was in top 10 corners in the country. I was a Jim Thorpe Award candidate, which was considered the best DB in America. So I had all the accolades you can ever imagine. I was going to leave school my junior year, but I came back to school for my senior year because my grandmother wanted me to finish school. So there's a lot of things that led to this, and I'm one of those guys that truly think sometimes everything happens for a reason.
Come on.
And that necessarily wasn't my path. That wasn't what he wanted for me. And when I say what he wanted for me, y'all know what I say.
Yeah.
And I was raised by my grandmother. I was a poor kid on a $501 Social Security check, food stamps. I mean,
Come on, boy.
it
They don't know
is-
about that, Larry.
It is what it is. I didn't have air conditioner in my house till I was a junior in high school, and one of my friends, one of my white friends, James Willis, the Willis family, gave me an air conditioner to put in the window of my grandma's house. And that was the first air conditioner I had in my house. So, and I'll never forget the Willis family because of that. And nobody ever really knew the whole background, but at the end of the day, I used sports as my platform to get out. And being raised by my grandmother, man, it was tough. It was tough. I had my sister and my older brother, and all we had was sports. My grandmother never raised her voice at us. All she told us to do was do the right thing and be great at it. And that was my thing, was to be great at it. And after the injury, man, look, my grandma ended up passing on, and you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, I do this a lot on my pictures, and a lot of people think that means I'm number one. It's not what it means. That means I'm pointing to my grandma. Thank you, because she gave me this life. She made me this person I am, able to overcome. When you see articles like that, one of the greatest Gators to never make it into the NFL. If you say that don't hurt or that don't do something to you, you're not telling the truth. I'm not gonna say everybody know I got a tough exterior. You know, I'm a man's man type of guy, but at the same time, I'm human. You know, I'm sensitive to certain things, and to the game I love football. That was supposed to be my life. That was supposed to be my platform. That's where I was supposed to make it. I was supposed to feed my family off of that game, off of that pigskin, off of that helmet. And, you know, and at the end of the day, man, I ended up feeding my family off of that helmet, off of that pigskin, but it wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Man, gotta make a way, brother.
It was Riddell.
Come on.
Never saw it coming.
Never saw it.
And I still fed my family off of that same helmet, that same pigskin. And that's why I say everything happens for a reason. You put in certain positions to touch lives differently, and you never know what it's going to be, when it's going to be, or where it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
You kind of touched on something, and I want to go back to it. So I want to ask you this question: who or what is your greatest inspiration? I think you said it.
Well, my greatest inspiration is my grandmother, because as a kid, I watched my white family, the Green family, pick my grandmother up. My grandma was a maid for a family for 2-3 times a week. I watched my grandma get out the back seat of a car, then bringing her home. I watched my grandma catch the city bus, you know, pulling a buggy behind her. I mean, I watched my grandma feed my auntie. I watched my grandma feed my neighbor. My grandma always had Sunday meals cooked. Yeah. So my grandma by far is my greatest inspiration. And I never seen my grandma sweat. And I know it was tough on my grandma. Yeah. I remember my grandma got glaucoma, couldn't see no more. But my grandma knew the exact time when to go to that door when my son, Larry III, would get off that bus. So when I saw my grandma go through her struggles, but never complain, do the things she did, look, how could I complain?
Come on. I think if we all three of us sitting here right now, we think back, we all had great grandmas. And I think sometime in society today, that's what we're missing. Yeah. Missing strong grandmothers, you know, that are engaged with the grandchildren. They like the hallmark or the bulwark of the family. You know, they're there. They keep everything together. You know, and so, man, to hear you talk about your grandma, that's an awesome thing, man.
That'll never change. Grandma's grandma. That's why when I point, everybody say, "Man, you always doing the number one." No, I'm not. Pointing to my grandma, saying thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Without you, there would be no me.
Come on.
So thank you. So. And hey, that's why I'm the man I am today.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what? Now you kind of shot on out there. You shot out the gate real quick.
Yeah.
So if I could get you, Larry, back up for a sec. Tell us who Larry is. You told us about the accolades. You told us about the inspiration and various things like that. But who is Larry Kennedy?
Well, the interesting question is, as the adult Larry is a lot different than the young Larry.
That's right.
So the young Larry was a bull. I knew no other way.
Right.
It was to hit things head on.
Yeah.
The older Larry is a shark. You know, I'm a little more smooth, very aggressive, but I know when to attack. I'm very calculated. So I do things a little different now than I used to.
Okay.
And that comes with growth, and that comes with time.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more sensitive probably to people's needs and, you know, other people's feelings than I probably used to be. Because I was all about growth in one way, full speed, and be aggressive. You know, everything was a competition. I had to win.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on top. I was determined, and I refused to lose. And I step on anybody that got in my way. because I felt like what happened to me on the field, I needed to make up ground. And I had making up ground meaning you couldn't be sensitive, meaning, you couldn't, no never meant no to me. A closed door was never a closed door. You had to learn how to educate yourself more. You had to learn how to network. Nobody ever taught me how to network. Nobody ever showed me how to really open up a bank account. Nobody ever showed me how to do all these things that I realized you really had to do as I was growing. And there was a guy in Sarasota who took me under his wing, Stanley Glauser. It took me under his wing, white Jewish guy, and all he used to do, he never gave me a cent, but he used to have strong conversations with me, meaningful conversations with me about life and what could happen, what couldn't happen, and he was kind of there with me along this journey I was on. And he saw a lot of the pains, but he hung in there with me and just gave me wisdom. And when I started talking about myself and who was Larry Kennedy, I'm a giver. I'm here to serve God. I'm here to serve the people. I'm a servant leader kind of guy.
That's good. That's good.
I believe in giving back and building up to my community. I want to be the guy that I needed in my life for those out there. So, and I know what I needed. So I know what a lot of other people's needs are. And I don't shy away from a lot of things that a lot of people, normal people would probably shy away from. And I'm not doing this. I don't need no accolades. I don't need no attaboys.
That's right.
I don't need no pat on the backs.
Come on, man.
I don't need all these fake awards that they create for some people just because they did this or gave 2 cents. Look, I give my life every day. I don't give 2 cents. I don't give $1 million. I don't give $2 million. But I give my life and I give them me, which is priceless, and that's something money can't buy. And I think they'll rather have that at the end. You'll find out at the end it's better to have the person than have the materialistic things. So giving back, being involved, knowing the people, being around good people, having a good circle of friends, and I got a great circle of friends. I'll never say I have many friends, but I have a great circle of friends.
That sound like me.
And I know a lot of people. I'm involved in a lot of people's lives. But to be a friend, you got to know how to be a friend. And not a lot of people know how to be a friend. And I pick my friends off of somebody that also know how to be a friend. And the guys, as you ever notice, that are close to me, they're not just friends, they know how to be a friend.
See, that's biblical, because the Bible says you want friends, be friendly.
That's right.
So my friends we're a lot similar in a lot of ways, but we are different. Because your circle can't be the same. Your circle can't have the same personalities. Your circle y'all can't be going in always the same direction. And I feel like, man, I got a great group of people around me that's motivating, that's successful, that's about team building, building up each other, family guys, love their children, and love the people they meet, and they never meet a stranger.
Now, how often, I know Willie was telling me about your interaction with young people. And I have a question because I'm a teacher at a school also. And one thing I noticed with this generation is it seems as if a lot of young people deal with not being able to be resilient. So what is your thoughts on resiliency in young people?
Well, social media, a lot of things are the reasons I think kids get caught up. They too worried about what others think. Whereas we didn't have social media. So we didn't have to worry about, what the outside forces thought of us. Every day we don't open our phones or computer and log in and there's a story about us. There's a like, there's a dislike, who didn't like. There's a reflection of us that people are seeing that maybe everybody don't love. So I lose confidence. I lose something in myself. I go to overthinking something that's not even the case. So when you start talking about these kids and resiliency, man, the reason they don't have a lot of that anymore, because it's not being taught, it's not being shown. The people that's pouring into their lives are not like the people that was pouring into our lives. So now kids get sensitive at the smallest things. but so do parents.
I got this question then. I'm sorry, brother. Look at this.
No, go ahead.
So you played football those years. Is it okay for every kid not to get a trophy?
I'm not an every trophy coach. So
I'm trying to stay calm. Well, I would have told this office.
I'm not an every
Come on.
trophy coach.
Come on.
So I've lost teams. I've had coaches leave my program, and I've had them take their kids out of my program because I'm not a every kid get a trophy kind of guy. If we win a championship, everybody gets a trophy. That was a team effort. We won a championship. But if we had a subpar season, I'm not giving out trophies. I may give some medals, I may give some certificates, but I'm not going and buying trophies because we didn't earn a trophy. Come on, man. You know, that trophy that sits on my mantle has to have meaning. It can't just be something of substance. If it don't have meaning, it'll come back. You'll see it and it'll end up in your garage, in the trash. It really won't mean much. So as far as everybody getting a trophy, no, I don't believe in that at all. And I think the country has lost its way with everybody has to have a trophy mentality. Everybody has to win. Everybody can't win. If somebody has to lose, and I always say there's just as much teaching in losing as there is in winning. You know, because winning sometimes creates an egotistical type mentality that, hey, it's hard to turn back the clock. But losing sometimes creates the total athlete. It humbles you and it teaches you how you have to work harder to achieve. It gives you things that, hey, it gives you lessons that you just can't learn by picking up a book. You have to experience the loss. So the action of a loss is important, but I mean, so is the triumph of victory. Come on.
That rolls right into our next question. Go ahead.
I'm all about victory.
Hit him with the A. That was perfect. Rolls into our next question. Question number 3.
Okay.
You say you are a champion.
Yeah. See, so Pastor Wood and I consider ourselves champions of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's what we do, man. We are advocates. We champion the gospel, the good news. And so you're a champion for football. You champion or you advocate for football, but I want to know why football? Why is football something that you've taken and you champion that? What's good about football that causes you to champion football?
Let me stop you there. I'm not a champion for football.
Okay.
I'm a champion for life.
Yeah. Okay.
Football just happens to be my platform.
Come on. Okay.
So when you start talking about my platform, how I reach the kids, and everybody talking about what's your ministry, football is that for me.
Say that again.
I like that.
Say that
So
again.
when I go out to the fields, you know, the pastor may not can get to them, but I can get to them with the pastor's message.
That's right.
So the message that I'm receiving, I can pour it into the kids. So football is my platform. Football is my ministry. Football is where I'm safe. It's my safe haven. I go out there to those kids, man, and I preach life into them. I breathe life in them. I don't develop football players. I develop men that become football players. And I want you to be confident. I'm not going to shy away from teaching a kid to be confident. You have to teach confidence. Nobody's teaching confidence. You start talking about resiliency and all that stuff, man, that's where it starts at. It starts with the teacher. It starts with somebody that's preaching and giving them life, that's giving them confidence, showing it's okay. Showing them, hey, when you're down, pick yourself back up. I always say, my Uncle Walt, I talk about him from the mighty Apache that I played for at Ringland Redskins. My first year playing tackle football, my first day of pads, I got hit. I was done. I'm done with football. No more.
Come on, Larry. You are done, Larry.
Look.
Oh, God. I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
when I say I was done,
Look,
your boy was done. So my Uncle Walt came to the house looking for me. I wondered where I was supposed to be for practice. You know, we all got a little stationary place where they pick us up on the corner and we jump in the car, we go to practice. Well, I wasn't there. Wait, Larry. So he comes to the house. You know, Auntie Louise, that's my grandma's name, Louise. Auntie Louise, where Larry at? She said, he back there in the room in that closet hiding. When I said I was done, I was in the closet hiding behind some clothes, all tucked away.
Right.
And my Uncle Walt came in the house, ran back in the back of the room. You don't bring your, you know what, out that room. You know how Walt talk.
Yeah,
I don't even have to say it.
And Walt was in my life too.
So he came and got me out of that closet, man. And that kid, he got out the closet, ended up being the #1 defensive back in America. So that's why I say, man, you gotta teach life, man. You gotta be willing to develop. You gotta go the extra yard for these kids. You gotta give these kids hope. I always say, you know, my hashtag, I dream big, because, man, I dream big and I achieve my dreams, man, and I'm still humping to achieve more. So, I mean, I'm trying to pour dreams into other people, and I want them to be able to dream like I dreamed and be okay. I mean, I'm the same guy now that got access to a lot of things. I can do a lot of things now. I've had a great career. I've had a great life. Man, I can go out and do things that people only dreamed of. I mean, I've traveled the world from Europe to Australia. I mean, all over America. I mean, I've been everywhere. But to say that, man, that I was the same kid, that little poor kid on 33rd Street that nobody gave a chance to, that they said I couldn't read when I was in elementary school, you know, to going to Gulfgate, getting all the things I needed, Brookside Middle School, Riverview High School, University of Florida, now Riddell, amongst the other things, Diamond Sports Group. I was the #1 youth All-American brand company in the country, servicing kids from East Coast to West Coast, different countries. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on. So to be able to build a platform that I built and just know I was the kid that got hurt, that was the greatest Gator that didn't make it into the NFL. And everybody say, "Boy, you must have had a great football career." I didn't play in the NFL. I got hurt. This ain't football money? No. This all came from that education, hard work, dedication. And let me tell you something. Life is hard. Life is hard.
That's what we need to tell the kids.
Building your brand is hard. Building you is hard. So, and it's gonna sacrifices you're gonna have to make. Friends you're gonna have to lose. Relationships you're gonna have to end to build your brand. But man, once you build it, it's a great feeling. It's a great accomplishment.
Man, you answered our next question.
Yeah, and you know,
we was
it's
gonna
funny.
ask you about a brand.
And before we go to the next question, Larry, I want to share something with you. As I was listening to you, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, "When I was a child, I thought as a child, and when I became a man, I put away childish things." You said when the young Larry was a little bull, although you was a little shy in the beginning when you went through that, and you came out, and then you did everything you needed to do, but then that shark. But now, man, you're talking about building the brand. So now, what does it mean to you, or should I say, what is your brand?
I'm my brand. My family is my brand. My friends are my brand. Everything that I'm associated is my brand, because everything you see and everything you're a part of is really, that's you. It's you. That's people. It's a reflection of you. So everything that's a reflection of you in your life is your brand. Come on. So when I tell people, man, be careful who you have around you. Be careful what you put out there. Be careful what you wear. Be careful what tattoos you put on. Be careful, because everything you do, everything you associate yourself with, everything you post, everything is your brand, because that's all you have is you. And all they see is the people you're associated with and affiliated with. So yeah, you can work for a brand, but you got to be the brand inside of a brand. So even the company I work with, everything I'm associated with reflects that company. That's right. Yep. So that's why I say the brand is everything you are associated with becomes the brand.
And see, that says a lot, man, because I want the believers that are watching, you need to hear what he just said. When we talk about being a part of the kingdom of God, this is why we can't just do anything. We can't just wear anything. We can't just go anywhere, because the kingdom of our Father is our brand. And so we are, again, a brand inside of a brand. I like the way you put that, man, because that says a lot to those that are watching. Come on, man. That's good stuff. Now I got a question I want to ask you. I'm going to say 3 phrases, and I want you to tell me what you think when you hear these. Black excellence, because these are things that we're hearing today a lot. Black excellence, American excellence, and kingdom excellence. when you hear those three: Black excellence, American excellence, and kingdom excellence?
Well, of course, I'm engaged. Black excellence is me. It has nothing to do against anybody, my white counterparts, my colleagues, my friends, none of that. But we've had some shortcomings. We've gone through a lot. I know through the experience of my own life experiences, just through my own grandmother. So I've seen things at the lowest of the low and at the highest of the high. And to be able to achieve, you need somebody. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say you can do it all by yourself, because you need somebody. But it's okay, man, to be black and be successful, and be able to say it, man, and be proud and not be discriminated against, not to be frowned upon, not to be looked different upon, just because you want to celebrate who you are, because for the most part, you are the minority. You're not the majority. So celebrate yourself. Celebrate being proud of who you are, being proud of who you are in your skin, because for the longest time, you was taught your skin was negative. Everything about you was negative. You know, everything you always heard, black always represented something sad, nothing positive, nothing great. So it was time to be celebrated and be able to say black excellence with pride and joy, and just know, man, I'm okay. I went to PWI. My kids go to a HBCU. Both of my boys graduated from HBCU. My nephew graduated from an HBCU. And it was just coincidence because of where we live in the Carolinas. And in my job, I got acquainted with the HBCU world a lot different than others. And then working for Riddell, I was on the executive board of the Celebration Bowl for the last 4 years. Now I've moved on from there, where I'm a part of the executive committee for the Orange Blossom Classic in Miami. So of course with Jackson State and FAMU. So I'm heavily involved with HBCUs. I put all the HBCUs under my umbrella at Riddell to give them attention to detail. So I've worked with Deion Sanders. It's good to work with the likes of a Troy Vincent of the NFL, and you talk about some of the things inside of Riddell, what we're able to do for the HBCUs. So these programs need our help. They need our assistance. Look, I always say, man, you need representation to know. If there was never representation, how you gonna know what black excellence is if there's never representation? You need representation. So if I have to be the representation and be the target, I'm okay with that. But it needs to be said, it needs to be done, and it needs representation, so people that look like me or don't look like me, just be the role model that you need to be, and represent who you are, and show yourself and show the excellence.
Yes, sir. American excellence.
American excellence, I think it's who we all are. If you don't believe you're an American, then something's wrong. Something's wrong. So something's wrong. You don't need to be here. I don't care who you vote for, Democrat, Republican. I'm not going to, that ain't this conversation. So, who your party affiliation is has nothing to do with American excellence. When you travel abroad, you'll find out real quick, I want to be an American real fast, because everybody wants to be like us. Everybody want to be an American. Everybody want to talk against America until you need America. So American excellence, man, means dominance. It means power. Now, we don't always use common sense in some of the things we do, but at the end of the day, it's with democracy. So in a democracy, man, we negotiate, we work through it, we talk it out, we come to the meeting table. Hey, man, look, we ain't always got to agree. We can agree to disagree, but the fact that we can come to that table and meet, hey, man, that's what make it good to be an American.
And then my last one is kingdom excellence.
Well, a man that pray is probably a man that has wealth. And when I say has wealth, I don't mean material wealth. I don't mean monetary wealth. I mean wealth internally. And that's what, when you start talking about kingdom excellence, you gotta have that internal wealth. You gotta be good with yourself. You gotta be able to look in the mirror at that point and say, I'm okay. I'm doing the right things. I don't always have to be the guy you are in the church. I don't have to be the guy you are in the church. But as long as I'm a believer,
Come on, bro.
and I believe in the Word of God, and I believe in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it don't matter what nobody else think of me. So I'm okay. That's the kingdom. I'm okay. I'm good.
That's good stuff. That's good
Bro,
stuff.
I mean,
But this is great, man.
this is good, man. And one of the questions that I want to go back to, because you talk so greatly about your boys, how was it for you to be able to balance your relationship with your boys, teaching them the leadership, the guidance, all the various things that you're imparting into the other young men, but also making that major impact on your sons right there at home?
Well, that's a good question, because it was tough. Because every weekend it was nothing for us to have, 7, 8 kids at the house. It was nothing for me to get a phone call to come to somebody's house to discipline their child. It was nothing for me to go to a school to be there for other kids. It was part of my duty as a coach. And to be a coach on my coaching staff, you had to be able to also make yourself available to go and be a part of these kids' life, everyday life. You had to go to the schools, you had to go to the house. So sometimes my kids would get cut short. But I tell you what I did do.
Come on.
In my travels at Riddell, I travel. Everybody know my job, I travel. I sacrificed myself to make sure. I don't care if I had to drive 8 hours one way. I leave wee hours in the morning, get my job done, see the accounts I needed to see, and I figure out how to get home that night. I figure out how to get to practice. I never hardly missed my kids' practice. I never missed a game unless if I did, it might have been one. I was always there. When it was a parent conference meeting, I was gonna show up. Now my wife would be there too. I'm not taking anything away from my wife. It ain't got nothing to do with that. But, I wanted to make sure that they saw their dad and they knew their dad cared. No matter how many other kids that I might have helped, that I might have been there for, my kids had to know that their daddy was gonna be there no matter what. And I think at the end of the day, they knew when something was happening, they knew they didn't even have to pick up the phone. They knew, oh, my daddy coming. They was gonna tell me, my daddy coming. And daddy was coming. I believe in, when I talk about even my circle of friends, you can tell me a lot about yourself by the way you treat your kids and how you manage your kids and how you father your kids. And I believe in that. I'll stand by that. And the one thing nobody can ever do, you'll never take away the fact that I know I'm a great father. That's right. And I'm proud to be a father. I'm proud to be considered a great father. And I'm going to support my kids to the end. And the one thing I've always said, I always saw people do things for their kids when they got older. Right. I wasn't afforded that. I wasn't allotted that experience because, I didn't have that background. Right. And the one thing I said, I wanted to make sure I bought my kids their first car, paid my kids their first house, things I wanted to be able to do for my kids that I wasn't able to do, I wasn't able to get because I know what's a struggle. Right. I know what's a strain on you. I know it holds you back to keep you from achieving financial freedom. So I want to be able to help my kids do all these things. And I don't care from birth to death, I'm going to be there for my kids, for
That's
my
a
boys.
good father, man. That's good stuff. I just got one more question, man.
Yeah, me too. After you.
And I would just like you to tell the people what's next for Larry Kennedy. 'Cause I know you got something.
Well, the camera's rolling. Well, of course, at Riddell, I'm the National Key Account Manager in the NFL and college football. I've been at Riddell 21 years plus, and I'm looking to have another 21 years at Riddell and continue to move up the ranks as I have. And I'm excited for what we have going at Riddell. I'm excited about my position at Riddell. I'm excited about how Riddell handles me, how it handles minorities, our diversity and inclusion division that we started. It's all been great things. Yeah. So I could not ask for a better situation a better company, and a better company to not only service me, but to service the community that I live in, or the community of kids that I enjoy, and I enjoy being a part of. And of course, Diamond Sports Group. I love Diamond Sports Group because it allows me to not only pour into kids throughout the country, because at Riddell I touch not only the kids, but I touch the college kids, the high school kids, the pro athletes. I touch everybody, but Diamond Sports Group allows me to touch the kids from East Coast to West Coast, with over 200,000 kids in our database, with 3 to 4 of our events across the country, from our events in Myrtle Beach, Virginia, Florida, Charlotte, Vegas, Bullhead City, Arizona. Coach, we're a little bit of everywhere. So that's been a great experience, and working with the team of folks that I work with, the Diamond Sports Group. With Donnell Britt, our CEO, done a great job of spearheading that thing and getting that thing off the ground and making the sacrifices to make that thing work. That's been an inspiration as well, to see another black male be able to start a company and get something off the ground. And when he asked me to be a part of it, and he's one of my best friends, if not my best friend, that I lean on when I need somebody to talk to. He got my support 100%. And so then when I start talking about Riddell and some, it's just all kind of runs full circle, because Riddell, I can never say enough about that company and how it's treated me and my friend and my friends of circles, what it's given to the black community behind the scenes with donations and through all the programs that we're involved in to help in the black communities with these young youth football programs. So I see a lot of things that a lot of people are not privy to. Right. So behind the scenes, man, I believe in people. For the most part, people are good. Yeah. People are good, man. We got a lot of good things in this country and a lot of good companies in this country. It's just now those people sometimes got to be celebrated and brought to the forefront and be acknowledged and noticed as well.
All right, bro, you have
All
anything?
right, hey guys, well, that's all I got, man. But this has been a great interview, man. Thank you, man, so much.
No, man, my pleasure. Look, I've enjoyed it. Y'all know me. I can talk more. I'm holding back a little bit because some things I don't want to say. Right. We'll save that for part 2.
There you go. There you go.
Because I can definitely give you a part 2.
Amen.
Hey guys, well, thank you again for watching Bros For Real Kingdom Focus here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that notification button. Also, look us up on Facebook, Bros For Real Kingdom Focus on Facebook, and we will see you guys next time. Pastor Willie, I love you, man.
Love you too. Peace.
Hey, love.
Peace.